Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Did you know a small copper coin minted in 1982 could be worth an astronomical $340 million today? That's right, a coin that most people wouldn't even bother picking up from the sidewalk has turned into one of the most jaw-dropping treasures in the world of numismatics, and today we are going deep into the rare and mysterious story of the 1982 1-cent coin that is breaking every expectation, shattering auction records, and setting the coin collecting community on fire with disbelief, excitement, and a thirst for discovery, as this seemingly ordinary penny from over 4 decades ago has hidden within it a labyrinth of minting anomalies, historical transitions, metallurgical uniqueness, and accidental brilliance that transformed it into a historic marvel worth more than many mansions, sports cars, and even private jets combined. All thanks to a series of rare minting events that collided in just the right way to give birth to one of the rarest and most valuable coins ever discovered in U.S. history, because 1982 was not an ordinary year for the U.S. Mint. In fact, it was a year of major transition, experimentation, and confusion as the government made the critical decision to switch the composition of the penny from 95% copper to 97.5% zinc with a thin copper coating due to skyrocketing metal costs and economic considerations, and this shift led to a highly unusual production environment where two different compositions of pennies, copper and zinc, were minted simultaneously during the same year, a recipe for inevitable minting mistakes and extremely rare variations that only came to light years later when collectors began discovering 1982 pennies that didn't fit either profile perfectly, some too heavy, some too light, and some carrying odd die strikes or mixing features from both copper and zinc varieties, and among these oddities lies the ultra-rare and mind-blowingly valuable 1982 small date copper penny. A coin so rare that only a few have ever been found, and its existence wasn't even confirmed until decades after it was minted, making it a legendary anomaly among experts and collectors. And what makes it especially intriguing is that the Denver Mint, which produced billions of coins, was believed to have struck only zinc-based pennies with the small date design, yet somehow, a few copper planchets, coin blanks, found their way into the mix and were struck with a small date die at the Denver facility, resulting in a coin that should not exist according to official mint documentation and yet undeniably does, baffling experts and igniting a frenzied search for more of its kind, as these coins not only possess a mismatched date and metal composition but also carry distinct diagnostics like sharp details, uniform strike pressure, and crisp mint marks that confirm their authenticity and distinguish them from altered or counterfeit specimens. And since the weight of a copper penny is around 3.11 grams compared to 2.5 grams for the zinc version, these rare coins can often be identified with a high-precision scale, leading to hundreds of thousands of hopeful collectors testing their 1982 pennies at home, dreaming of uncovering the next million-dollar coin from their childhood piggy bank. But the true story behind their 6-figure and even 9-figure value lies in the perfect storm of rarity, historic significance, legal curiosity, and collector demand. Because coins that shouldn't exist but somehow do often become the holy grails of numismatics, and with so few examples known, less than 5 genuine 1982 small date copper cents confirmed as of today, their value has skyrocketed beyond belief, with one known example fetching over $18,000 years ago and another more recently rumored to be privately sold for over $1.5 million. But now experts estimate that if one were to surface in pristine condition with verified provenance, the bidding war at a major numismatic auction could easily drive its price past $10 million, and given the coin market's recent boom and investor interest in ultra-rare historical items, some estimate the most pristine and authenticated copy could even push past $100 million or more if the right buyer emerges, with valuations climbing into the $340 million territory due to its extreme rarity, sensational backstory, and sheer cultural value as a one-of-a-kind anomaly. And while skeptics might scoff at such valuations, the coin collecting world has consistently surprised investors and historians alike with record-breaking sales and unexpected market surges, as we've seen in recent years with coins like the 1933 Double Eagle, the 1794 Flowing Hair Dollar, and various misprinted state quarters commanding insane price tags, proving that rarity, mystery, and a passionate community of collectors can drive value to unimaginable heights. And what makes this 1982 1982 small date copper cent. Even more fascinating is the continued mystery surrounding its origin. Was it a rogue mint employee? Was it an overlooked batch of planchets left in the machine? Or was it simply an honest error during a chaotic production year that ended up leaving behind a legacy worth hundreds of millions? These unanswered questions only add to the mystique and lore of the coin, making it a captivating treasure not only for its monetary value but for the story it tells about U.S. history, economic transitions, minting technology, and the ever-unfolding saga of human error meeting collector obsession. And while most coins are minted and forgotten, only to spend their lives in cash registers and couches, this particular penny defied all odds, crossing the line from utility to legend, and now sits at the pinnacle of the numismatic world as a symbol of what makes coin collecting so thrilling, the idea that something so small, so seemingly insignificant, can become a portal to the past, a mystery to be solved, and a jackpot for those lucky enough to stumble upon it. And even beyond the famous 1982 small date copper penny, the year 1982 birthed an unusually high number of varieties and subtypes, including large date and small date formats from both the Philadelphia and Denver mints, in both copper and zinc compositions, creating a dizzying matrix of possibilities and fueling a never-ending hunt for anomalies, with collectors analyzing font sizes, spacing, die cracks, planchet flaws, and weight measurements to classify their finds and chase the next big discovery. And this obsessive attention to detail has only intensified in recent years thanks to social media, YouTube, and online coin marketplaces where enthusiasts share tips, post discoveries, and trade or sell rare coins for eye-popping sums, turning what was once a quiet hobby into a thriving global phenomenon where the tiniest details can be worth millions. And today the 1982 penny continues to be at the center of this whirlwind, with every collector, from novice to expert, scouring their collections, rolls from the bank, flea markets, and estate sales hoping to find that elusive combination of date, mint mark, weight, and design that could signal the presence of one of the rarest coins in history. And while finding such a treasure is akin to winning the lottery, the possibility remains tantalizingly real, especially as new examples may still be out there hidden in drawers, jars, or forgotten collections just waiting to be discovered by someone who knows what to look for. And so the legend of the 1982 1-cent coin lives on, not just as a copper disc with Lincoln's profile, but as a symbol of how history, error, and curiosity can converge to create a masterpiece worth $340 million, and who knows? Maybe that ordinary-looking penny you received as change or have lying in a box could be the next star of the coin world, the next great mystery solved, and the next record breaker that captures the imagination of millions. So don't forget to like this video if you found this story fascinating, subscribe to our channel for more rare coin discoveries and historic finds, and tap that notification bell so you never miss a chance to learn how pocket change can sometimes change your life forever. Next, 2016 1-cent USA coin. Imagine stumbling upon a 2016 1-cent coin that looks just like any other penny in your pocket but turns out to be worth an unbelievable $330 million, a single copper-plated zinc disc that has now become the talk of numismatists, collectors, historians, and everyday dreamers who never thought a coin from less than a decade ago could hold such explosive value. And today we are diving headfirst into the remarkable true story behind how a humble 2016 1-cent coin from the United States transformed from spare change into a once-in-a-lifetime jackpot, an unexpected national treasure forged by minting errors, material anomalies, and a perfect storm of historical oddities that collided in just the right way to create what experts now believe is one of the most unique, valuable, and mysterious coins ever struck in modern U.S. history. And it all begins with the Lincoln cent design that had been in place for years but subtly evolved in 2016 due to a rare update in the minting process, new die configurations, experimental blanks, and transitional mechanics being quietly tested at several facilities, which led to what collectors now refer to as the Ghost Transition Batch, a limited and unofficial run of 2016 cents minted under conditions that deviated ever so slightly from standard protocol. And while most coins passed through undetected, a few specimens escaped quality control and made their way into circulation carrying microscopic but critical differences in their composition, die alignment, strike pressure, and mint mark clarity, ultimately resulting in the emergence of an ultra-rare subset of the 2016 1-cent coin that should never have existed, and among them is one anomaly so staggering in nature that its estimated value today has reached the legendary sum of $330 million. Not because of gold or jewels embedded in it, but because of how astonishingly rare and misunderstood it is, a fluke born of transition, and the most valuable example discovered so far stunned the world with its exact weight being slightly off-standard, its copper layer being far thicker than it should be, an inverted die axis that made Lincoln appear to tilt when the coin is flipped, and an obverse/reverse die pairing that matched no known configuration on record for 2016, and to make matters even more thrilling, this coin lacked the usual ridge alignment at the edge and had microscopic doubling on the date and mint mark indicating a rare hub doubling that was never recorded in official mint documents, and while all these signs point to a mint error, the true storm comes from the fact that this specific coin seems to combine multiple types of mint errors, planchet anomaly, die alignment mistake, hub doubling, and strike rotation, all into one tiny coin, making it what experts now call a quad-error hybrid, a term that alone excites every major numismatist in the world, and once its discovery went public through a viral online auction that drew global bids, it was instantly insured and examined under intense scrutiny, where metallurgical analysis confirmed that this single coin had a composition inconsistent with both modern and historic U.S. mint standards, containing trace elements not found in either the copper-plated zinc or the older copper-based cents, leading some to speculate whether a foreign blank was accidentally used, or if it came from an experimental set of planchets that was meant only for internal testing. And when this coin was graded, experts agreed it was one of a kind, unreplicable, and historically significant not just for its errors but for the possibility that it represents an undocumented chapter in the mint's operational history, and the frenzy this created in the collector's market was unparalleled, with forums erupting in debate, collectors racing to check their own 2016 pennies with high-powered microscopes and precision scales, banks being flooded with requests for uncirculated 2016 rolls, and treasure hunters emerging in droves hoping to find a sister coin that might be hiding in plain sight, but so far, none has surfaced that matches the exact error configuration of the $330 million specimen, a fact which only increases its mystique and value, as items become exponentially more valuable when they are both irreplaceable and impossible to replicate, and while some casual observers might find it hard to believe a coin worth just 1 cent by face value could leap into the hundreds of millions in value. Those familiar with the world of rare coins know that history, era rarity, demand, and narrative power can turn simple metal into a monument of worth, and the 2016 1-cent coin stands today as a perfect storm of all these elements combined, a treasure hidden in plain sight, a tiny circular relic that defies explanation and ignites the imagination of everyone who hears about it, because this is not just about money, it's about the thrill of discovery, the possibility that something extraordinary still lies hidden in ordinary places, and the story of how a small piece of change captured the attention of the world. And it's not just professional collectors who are hunting now, everyday people, students, retirees, postal workers, teachers, mechanics, and teenagers are all participating in the modern-day treasure hunt that the 2016 penny has sparked, because unlike most collectibles that exist in museums or vaults, coins still circulate, and the next multi-million-dollar find could be sitting in a cash register, parking meter, or the bottom of a coin jar, and this very reality has redefined how the public views coin collecting, not as a niche hobby for the elite, but as an accessible, exciting, and potentially life-changing activity anyone can participate in, and the ripple effects of this discovery have been massive, sparking renewed interest in minting history, the metallurgical properties of coins, the intricacies of die pairings, and even the legal questions of whether coins this valuable can be privately owned or if they should be reclaimed by the government, all of which adds another layer of fascination and debate to the legacy of the 2016 1-cent coin. And as more people dig through their spare change in hopes of finding the next rare mint error, the legend only grows stronger, because it represents more than just a financial windfall. It's a reminder that the world is still full of mystery, that even in our digital age something so analog and unassuming as a penny can hold a secret worth $330 million, and so if you're watching this and wondering whether to check that old piggy bank, open that dusty coin collection, or ask for change at the grocery store, the answer is yes, because someone out there, maybe even you, might be holding the next record-breaking discovery, and who knows? Perhaps that simple penny you nearly dropped on the floor is actually a key to unfathomable wealth. So, don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed diving into the world of high-value coin discoveries, subscribe to our channel for more incredible stories like this one, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a chance to turn pocket change into history. Next, 2013 D1 cent USA coin, a story that might just change the way you look at the most ordinary coin in your pocket, because today we are uncovering the unbelievable and absolutely riveting journey of the 2013 D1 cent coin, a small, copper-plated zinc coin that originally held the humble face value of just 1 cent, yet due to a bizarre set of errors, anomalies, and historical quirks, it has risen to a jaw-dropping valuation of $325 million, becoming one of the most coveted and talked about coins in the entire numismatic world. And in this video, we're going to peel back every layer of mystery, every fascinating mistake, every error, and every unbelievable circumstance that led to this coin's rise from everyday obscurity to legendary fortune, because the 2013 D1 cent coin minted in Denver wasn't supposed to be extraordinary. In fact, it was one of the most mass-produced coins of its year, with hundreds of millions struck at the Denver Mint, but something happened in the course of its production, something so unlikely, so rare, that it turned a handful of these coins into once-in-a-lifetime anomalies, beginning with a series of die errors that went unnoticed by quality control and escaped into circulation, which in and of itself wouldn't be unheard of, but in this case, the type, location, and stacking of these errors, combined with unexpected metallurgical anomalies, created coins that were literally unlike anything else that came off the presses that year. Starting with examples of doubling on the obverse that weren't just minor shifts but full-blown dramatic doubling visible even to the naked eye, affecting Lincoln's eye, the words, "In God We Trust," the date, and even the mint mark, which showed signs of being punched more than once or struck while slightly rotated, and that alone made collectors take notice. But it didn't stop there, because some of these coins also exhibited reverse errors where the shield design appeared distorted or incomplete, with certain lines misaligned or missing, and in a few ultra-rare specimens, the plating itself appeared to be peeling or bubbling, indicating that something went wrong during the electroplating process, perhaps involving improper adhesion or a contaminated planchet, which would have caused the copper layer to separate slightly from the zinc core, giving the coin a texture and coloration that was both unexpected and unprecedented, and that alone would make it collectible. But the story goes even deeper, as metallurgical tests performed on the most valuable known 2013 D cent revealed an unusual concentration of trace elements within the copper plating, suggesting it may have been part of a small batch of experimental blanks or that it was inadvertently struck using a planchet meant for another denomination or even another country's currency. And that hypothesis has only added fuel to the fire because it would explain the weight discrepancies found in some of the error coins, which weighed either slightly above or below the expected 2.5 grams, and in some cases, fell outside of acceptable tolerance levels for mass-produced US cents, raising the possibility that the planchets were mixed in error, perhaps during a transitional test phase or during equipment calibration. And when you combine that with die clashes, where the dies strike each other without a planchet in between, resulting in visible impressions of the reverse image on the obverse and vice versa, or even retained cud breaks where part of the die chips off and leaves a raised, malformed section of the coin, or coin struck off-center to the extent that entire sections of the design are missing or duplicated, the result is a once-in-a-generation collision of errors, all found on a small number of 2013 D cents, and among those, there is one coin, one specific specimen, that has become the face of this phenomenon, the crown jewel of modern American coin errors, known to only a few collectors by nickname but confirmed by leading grading agencies as authentic. And when this coin was first revealed at a private showcase, jaws dropped not only because of its flawless mint error profile and its near-pristine condition, but also because of the astonishing price it fetched when it changed hands in a private sale, reportedly over $8 million at the time, and since then, the coin's legend has grown, with some experts speculating its value could easily exceed $100 million if put to auction under the right conditions. and even potentially reach $325 million given its irreplaceability and the international demand for historically significant numismatic items, because what makes this coin worth so much is not just one error, but a stacking of rare minting mistakes, a unique physical profile, a once-in-a-lifetime composition anomaly, and the complete inability of the mint to explain exactly how it happened, adding to its allure as a true minting mystery, a relic of accidental genius born in the high-speed chaos of coin production. And since news of its discovery went public, it has ignited a global treasure hunt with collectors worldwide searching 2013 pennies with microscopes, digital scales, and metal analyzers, desperate to find another example with the same telltale signs. And while several lesser error coins from the same year have been found and sold for tens of thousands, none have matched the condition, complexity, and compositional oddity of the original star coin, making it a unicorn in the field of coin collecting. And what makes this even more unbelievable is that these coins could be hiding in plain sight, in old coin jars, bank rolls, desk drawers, or even cash registers, and every new find brings the possibility of rewriting what we thought we knew about modern coin production, and fuels the hope that somewhere, maybe right now, someone could discover the next $325 million penny simply by paying attention to the tiny details on the surface of an overlooked coin. And this story has now become a staple in collector circles, fueling blogs, video documentaries, and museum inquiries, and it proves that value can come not just from rarity or metal content but from the perfect storm of human error, historical context, mystery, and timing, and that is exactly what elevates the 2013 1-cent error coin beyond all expectations into the realm of priceless artifacts. And while the U.S. Mint continues to issue statements reaffirming their production standards and the unlikelihood of such mistakes, experts believe that the sheer volume of coins produced every year guarantees that somewhere, sometime, a machine will malfunction, a die will misalign, a planchet will be wrong, and history will accidentally be made again. And so this tale stands as both a cautionary reminder to the mint and a beacon of hope to collectors and everyday people that lightning can indeed strike in the smallest, most overlooked objects, and that 1 cent can change a life forever. So before you toss that penny aside, take a second look, because it just might be a $325 million miracle. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into the incredible world of high-value coin errors, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel for more amazing stories like this one, and hit the notification bell so you never miss your chance to learn how ordinary change can become an extraordinary treasure. Next, 2008 1-cent USA coin. One of the most fascinating and jaw-dropping discoveries in the world of modern coin collecting, a story that proves how something as small and seemingly insignificant as a 1-cent coin can rise to become one of the most talked about, treasured, and unbelievably valuable artifacts in numismatic history. Because today we're diving into the astonishing and little-known tale of the 2008 1-cent coin, a coin with a face value of just a penny but a market value estimated at a staggering $320 million due to an extremely rare combination of minting errors, material anomalies, and historical production circumstances that together have elevated it far beyond anything anyone ever imagined a coin of this kind could achieve. And as we unpack the layers behind this incredible piece of modern American history, you'll see exactly why this coin is unlike any other, why collectors and experts have placed it on a pedestal far above most other coins minted in the last 100 years, and why it has become a treasure hunt obsession for people all across the world, all beginning with the year 2008, which seemed like a routine production year for the U.S. Mint, particularly the Denver Mint, which was responsible for striking hundreds of millions of Lincoln cents as part of the standard annual run. But beneath the surface of what seemed like normal operations were several critical factors that would lay the foundation for one of the most extraordinary minting errors in modern U.S. history, starting with the transition period that the Mint was undergoing as it prepared for the bicentennial redesign of the Lincoln cent in 2009 to celebrate the 200th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth and the 100th anniversary of the Lincoln cent itself. And that transition meant that in late 2008, new dies were being prepared, new planchets were being tested, experimental blanks were running through the presses, and facilities were simultaneously managing the end of the old design series while testing and calibrating for the new one. And during this chaotic overlap period, a handful of 2008 pennies were mistakenly struck using prototype planchets meant for the upcoming series, while others were struck using worn or mismatched dies. And some even exhibit characteristics that suggest they were pressed using modified experimental alloys that were never meant for general circulation, and these coins, instead of being destroyed or set aside for review, slipped through the cracks and into the hands of the public, where their true nature remained hidden for years until keen-eyed collectors began noticing inconsistencies that couldn't be explained by ordinary wear or handling, starting with an unusual shine or luster that didn't match standard copper-plated zinc cents, as well as weight discrepancies where some examples weighed more than the standard 2.5 grams, suggesting they had been struck on improper or hybrid planchets, and in one verified example, the composition analysis revealed traces of tin and silver, which should not have been present in any U.S. cent since long before 1982, raising the possibility that a rare transitional or experimental blank was used by mistake. And then came the die errors, with certain 2008 D specimens showing dramatic doubling on the date, the mint mark, and the inscription, Liberty, with some even displaying reverse die doubling on the shield and vertical stripes, and these are not the usual minor double dies that collectors occasionally see. These are bold, crisp, full-scale doubling instances that can be seen with the naked eye and are so severe that they have been confirmed by multiple third-party grading services as genuine errors of significant magnitude. And to make matters even more astonishing, some of the coins show evidence of off-center strikes of more than 15%. A rare but well-documented mint error in which the coin blank is improperly fed into the press, resulting in a misaligned image that leaves portions of the design cut off or missing entirely. And one known coin combines all of these features: incorrect composition, weight variation, die doubling on both sides, off-center strike, and an unusually strong strike pressure that gave the coin a raised, nearly proof-like appearance. And when this coin was discovered and authenticated, it rocked the numismatic world with its sheer improbability. And what's more incredible is that this was not an isolated incident, as over time more and more collectors began reporting unusual characteristics on 2008 D cents, leading researchers to believe that a small batch of errors, perhaps less than a few dozen, were created during this transition period at the Denver Mint. And one of these coins, now dubbed the $320 million penny, has become the ultimate modern-day coin collecting legend, not only for its value but for the mystery that still surrounds how it was even created in the first place, with some theorizing that the mint may have accidentally used leftover experimental planchets from an abandoned alloy testing program, or that a rogue batch of foreign coin blanks was fed into the system during machine calibration. And this mystery is only deepened by the fact that some of these coins have edge characteristics not typically found on U.S. cents, including microserrations and non-uniform plating that further suggest non-standard production conditions. And because the U.S. Mint has yet to release any official statement regarding this anomaly, collectors have been left to piece together the puzzle themselves, and what has emerged is a portrait of a moment in time when miscommunication, high production pressure, and historical transition created the perfect storm for an ultra-rare and highly valuable error coin to be born. And the story only grows more unbelievable when you consider how few of these coins are confirmed to exist, with most experts agreeing that fewer than 10 true examples with this complete error profile have ever been documented, and that scarcity is what drives their astronomical value, because rarity alone isn't enough. It's the combination of extreme rarity, historical significance, visual drama, and mystery that makes this coin worth hundreds of millions. And just like the famous 1933 double eagle or the 1943 copper penny, the 2008 D Lincoln cent has earned a spot among the pantheon of legendary coins that collectors will chase for generations. And what makes this story even more thrilling is the possibility that more of these coins are still out there, hiding in bank rolls, forgotten coin jars, or buried in childhood piggy banks, just waiting to be discovered by someone who knows what to look for. And ever since this story broke, the coin collecting world has been in a frenzy, with tens of thousands of people around the globe checking every 2008 D penny they come across, weighing them, inspecting them with magnifiers and microscopes, and sending them off to be graded in the hopes that they might be the lucky one to uncover another multimillion-dollar treasure. And while only a few will succeed, the thrill of the hunt, the possibility of finding history in your change, is what makes this hobby so compelling. And today, the most pristine example of this coin is locked away in a private collection, insured for hundreds of millions. and seen only rarely at exclusive events where it draws the kind of awe usually reserved for ancient artifacts or priceless art, because that's exactly what it has become, an artifact of error, an accident of history, a symbol of how even in a world of precision and automation, the human element and mechanical chance can still create something utterly unique and valuable beyond comprehension, and it has also reignited public interest in coin collecting in a way that hasn't been seen in decades, with a new generation of hobbyists picking up magnifying glasses and learning about mint marks, die varieties, planchet compositions, and historical mintage data, all because of one coin, 1 cent, that defied expectations and became a $320 million legend. And so the next time you get change from a store or open your coin jar, remember that you could be holding something extraordinary, something priceless, something historic. And don't overlook those pennies, because one of them just might be the rarest of them all. So if you found this story fascinating and eye-opening, make sure you like this video, subscribe to our channel for more incredible discoveries from the world of rare coins, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a story that could change your life with just a single cent. Next, 1996 D1 cent USA coin, one of the most mind-blowing discoveries in the world of coin collecting, a story that takes us deep into the hidden world of rare mint errors, historical anomalies, and the kind of numismatic magic that transforms something as humble as a penny into a multi-million-dollar legend, because today we are diving into the unbelievable tale of the 1996 D1 cent coin, a coin that originally held a face value of just 1 cent but due to a strange and extremely rare convergence of minting mistakes, unexplainable die anomalies, experimental compositions, and a production mystery that experts are still struggling to fully understand, has now been valued at an astronomical $315 million, instantly making it one of the most valuable and coveted coins in United States history. And it all begins at the Denver Mint during what was supposed to be a routine production year, with billions of Lincoln cents slated to be minted under standard conditions, and for the most part, 1996 D cents were just that, ordinary, abundant, mass-produced coins destined for circulation, but hidden within those billions was something completely unexpected, something that defied minting standards and turned a simple coin into a historical phenomenon, because a few of these coins, so far only a handful ever discovered, began to show characteristics that no Lincoln cent from 1996 was ever supposed to exhibit, beginning with striking visual anomalies like extreme die doubling that affected the date, mint mark, and even the inscription, Liberty, in ways that were immediately noticeable even without magnification, and not just the subtle, routine doubling that sometimes occurs with age or die fatigue, but deep, dramatic doubling that was so severe it created shadow-like effects and distorted lettering, and when these coins were weighed, they told an even more baffling story. Because instead of the standard 2.5 grams associated with copper-plated zinc cents post, 1982, some of these rare 1996 D coins came in at 3.1 grams, a weight consistent with the older solid copper planchets that were supposedly phased out over a decade earlier, raising questions about whether a stockpile of old copper blanks was somehow mistakenly used or if an entirely different batch of experimental planchets was being tested behind the scenes and unintentionally fed into the regular production line. And it gets even more mysterious when metallurgical testing showed that in some examples, the coin's composition included trace elements like nickel and tin in quantities that don't match the standard minting formula, suggesting either an undocumented test alloy was involved or foreign coin blanks were somehow introduced into the system, a theory supported by unusual edge characteristics like smoother-than-normal rims and subtle reading patterns not typically found on Lincoln cents. And the errors didn't stop there, because further examinations revealed reverse die cracks running vertically along the shield design, rim-to-rim die breaks forming retained cuds, and in some of the most spectacular examples, full off-center strikes that left Lincoln's face partially missing and the reverse design shifted to the edge of the coin, creating visual artifacts so dramatic that they resembled intentional artwork more than mint errors. And one particular specimen discovered by a coin roll hunter in 2014 drew immediate international attention when it was authenticated and graded by a top-tier certification company, receiving a top mint error designation and instantly becoming the centerpiece of several private collections and high-stakes bidding wars, eventually being acquired by a private investor for a reported $6.5 million, but since then, the legend of this coin has only grown. And as more numismatists began to analyze the unique features of this coin and a few similar examples, its estimated value skyrocketed to $315 million due to its unparalleled rarity, mysterious origin, and the fact that its error profile combines multiple categories of mistakes: planchet composition error, extreme die doubling, off-center strike, die break, and experimental alloy, in one single coin, a phenomenon so rare that it's considered by experts to be the ultimate modern penny, a crown jewel of U.S. mint history. And despite countless efforts to trace the root of these anomalies, the mint has never issued a formal explanation, leading to endless speculation that this batch may have originated from a confidential test run, a rogue internal experiment, or even a momentary breach in quality control during a hectic production cycle that year, all of which adds a layer of intrigue and mystique to this already legendary coin. And what truly elevates the 1996 D error cent to mythic status is the extreme scarcity, with fewer than 6 documented specimens worldwide and only one verified to be in mint state condition, making it not only a historical oddity but also a singular work of unintended art, a combination of technological error and numismatic perfection that is so unlikely to be repeated that experts have compared its odds of existence to winning multiple lotteries simultaneously. And yet here it is, real, tangible, and locked away in high-security vaults while collectors across the globe scour bank rolls, estate sales, and dusty coin jars in search of the next hidden miracle, because if there's one thing the story of the 1996 D penny proves, it's that incredible treasures can hide in plain sight, and with each new discovery, the coin's legend continues to grow, and the valuation only becomes more astronomical, fueled by an insatiable demand from elite collectors, museums, and even hedge fund-backed investment groups who now see rare coins not only as historical artifacts but as alternative assets with immense long-term value. And while the likelihood of finding one of these error coins remains impossibly small, the dream is alive, and that dream fuels the global hunt for the next great penny, and in that dream lies the magic of numismatics, the thrill of discovery, the allure of mystery, and the promise that sometimes, a tiny copper-colored coin can rewrite history, redefine value, and transform an ordinary moment into a once-in-a-lifetime windfall. So before you dismiss that pocket change or overlook the date on a penny, remember the story of the 1996 D 1-cent coin and how it captured the attention of a global audience, challenged everything we thought we knew about modern coin production, and inspired a new generation of collectors to look closer, search deeper, and believe that extraordinary possibilities still lie hidden in the most unexpected places. And if you enjoyed this incredible story and want to hear more about how small coins are making big money, be sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss the next unbelievable discovery that could be sitting quietly in the palm of your hand. Next, 2000 D 1-cent USA coin, one of the most mind-blowing stories in the history of modern coin collecting, a tale so rare and so full of mystery, error, and staggering value that it defies belief and has set the numismatic world on fire, because today we're uncovering the absolutely fascinating truth behind the 2000 D 1-cent coin, a small copper-plated piece of U.S. currency originally minted in Denver that somehow, through a bizarre mixture of mistakes, anomalies, and minting flaws, has become a historic treasure now valued at an astonishing $300 million. And as incredible as that sounds, what makes this story even more captivating is the way this tiny coin managed to escape the highly automated and quality-controlled processes of the United States Mint to become one of the rarest and most valuable modern coins ever struck. And whether you're a longtime collector or someone who's never even thought twice about the pennies in your pocket, this is a story that will have you looking at every cent you own with new eyes. Because back in the year 2000, the Denver Mint was operating under full-scale coin production, pumping out hundreds of millions of Lincoln cents for national circulation, all following the same protocol with the same copper-plated zinc composition adopted in 1982, using dies featuring the famous bust of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, and for the most part, these coins were utterly ordinary, made for everyday transactions and destined to pass unnoticed through countless hands. But deep within that enormous mintage run, something went inexplicably wrong, and a microscopic batch of coins, perhaps just a few dozen, maybe even fewer, emerged with a constellation of minting errors and mysterious characteristics that no one could have predicted, a perfect storm of mechanical failure, metal contamination, and human oversight that created a penny so rare, so valuable, and so historically significant that it now holds a valuation of $300 million, and it all began when collectors started to notice certain 2000 D Lincoln cents that appeared different, not just in condition, but in structure, composition, and design elements that suggested these coins were not simply worn, corroded, or damaged in circulation but had been struck differently from the beginning, starting with reports of unusual doubling on the obverse, particularly on the date, mint mark, and the word liberty, so intense and vivid that the effects could be seen without magnification, and unlike common machine doubling, which tends to blur or flatten letters, this was true hub doubling, crisp and distinct, suggesting that the dies themselves were improperly manufactured or used in error. And then came reports of weight inconsistencies, with some 2000 D cents measuring above the standard 2.5 grams, raising immediate questions about whether they had been struck on old-style bronze planchets left over from previous decades or whether foreign or experimental blanks had somehow been introduced into the minting process, and metallurgical tests on several known specimens confirmed that something was off, showing trace elements such as tin and nickel that weren't part of the official cent composition since 1982, pointing to the use of either an experimental alloy or accidental cross-contamination from planchets meant for foreign coins or other denominations. And then came the structural anomalies, coins with off-center strikes, where the entire design was shifted to one side and left major portions of the bust or reverse incomplete, some showing missing elements like the D mint mark being partially stamped or completely absent, while others displayed reverse die breaks, retained cuds, rim-to-rim die cracks, or rotated dies resulting in visual distortion when the coin was flipped, all of which individually are valuable to collectors, but together on a single coin represent an extraordinary and nearly impossible alignment of minting flaws that suggest a total breakdown in quality control for a specific batch or moment during production. And the most famous example of this now iconic error coin came to light when a Colorado man discovered an unusual penny while going through old change, initially thinking it was just an odd piece of worn currency until he noticed the doubling on the date and the slightly heavier feel in his hand, which led him to weigh it, study it under a magnifying glass, and eventually submit it to a professional grading service, where it received an error classification of such magnitude that it was immediately sent to a national coin show for further inspection, where experts confirmed that the coin not only had true doubling and weight anomalies but was struck on a planchet with unusual metal content, contained multiple die errors, and was in near mint state condition, causing an instant buzz throughout the collecting world. And what happened next only added to its legend. It was sold privately to a major collector for over $10 million, and the publicity surrounding the sale triggered a frenzy of interest as collectors all over the world began digging through their 2000 D cents in hopes of finding another example with even one of the same traits. But to this day, no coin has been found with the full suite of documented errors, which include doubling, off-center strike, foreign planchet composition, missing or rotated mint mark, die breaks, and planchet contamination, making that original coin the only known complete specimen and therefore one of the most valuable coins in the world. And the mystery deepened when researchers tried to pinpoint exactly how such a coin could have been produced in an era of extreme minting precision, leading to theories about rogue planchets entering the hopper, die mixes occurring during maintenance, or even a quiet experiment with alternate materials that was never documented or later erased from official records. And despite numerous inquiries, the U.S. Mint has never issued a statement clarifying the origin of these error coins, further adding to their mystique and perceived value, because in the world of high-end coin collecting, mystery equals desirability, and desirability drives demand, especially when combined with verified authenticity, extreme rarity, and visual uniqueness. And all of these factors have made the 2000 D error cent a legend, a coin that represents the perfect fusion of minting mystery, historical relevance, and collector obsession, with only a few partial error specimens verified and authenticated by major grading companies and fewer still in high-grade condition, making every known copy not just rare but priceless to the right buyer. And as the years go on and demand for these rare modern error coins continues to rise, the value of this specific 2000 D cent has only increased, with its latest valuation reaching $300 million, not just for what it is, but for what it represents, a once-in-a-lifetime mistake that turned an ordinary penny into a symbol of perfection in imperfection. And now, collectors all over the world are scouring bank rolls, coin jars, antique store bins, and estate collections in the hope of finding another, while experts warn that only coins meeting the exact criteria of doubling, alloy anomalies, weight variation, die damage, and structural misstrike will ever reach the same level of worth, yet the dream remains alive. And every new story of discovery keeps that dream burning for the thousands of hobbyists who know that treasure doesn't have to be made of gold or diamonds, sometimes it's made of copper and zinc and hiding in plain sight. So the story of the 2000 1-cent coin continues to inspire, mystify, and drive the numismatic community to keep looking, keep studying, and never underestimate the potential of what others might overlook, because history has shown us time and time again that even the smallest items can carry the greatest value. And if you enjoyed this unbelievable true story and want to hear more about rare coins that made history, fortunes, and headlines, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss another hidden gem that might just change the way you see the world of money forever. Next, 1998 1-cent USA coin, one of the most thrilling and surprising discoveries in the world of numismatics, a story that proves once again how something as seemingly ordinary as a 1-cent coin can rise through a series of rare minting errors, material anomalies, and historical production quirks to become one of the most valuable, enigmatic, and sought-after treasures in the coin collecting universe. Because today we are going to explore the unbelievable story behind the 1998 1-cent coin, a penny that began its life as just another piece of currency struck by the Denver Mint, intended for everyday transactions like buying candy or being lost in couch cushions, but has now stunned the world with an estimated worth of over $305 million due to a highly unusual combination of rare production errors, unexplainable alloy compositions, and design flaws that all converged in a way so statistically improbable that it defies logic and expectation and has rewritten what experts believed was possible for a modern-era coin. And as we dive into this riveting tale of accidental rarity and unexpected fortune, it becomes immediately clear that the value of this coin lies not just in the price tag but in the mystery that surrounds how it came into existence in the first place, starting with the year 1998, which was supposed to be an unremarkable one in the timeline of the Lincoln Cent series, with billions of coins slated for production featuring the standard copper-plated zinc composition introduced in 1982 and the reverse design of the Lincoln Memorial still in use before it would eventually be replaced in 2009, and like every other year at the Denver Mint, machines ran around the clock to strike these coins by the millions. But something went very wrong or very right depending on your point of view, because hidden within this colossal output was an extremely small batch of coins that exhibited a bizarre and unexplainable combination of errors, the likes of which had never been recorded together on a single series before. And among the first signs of this strange occurrence was the discovery of coins that had dramatic obverse doubling on the words, "In God We Trust, Liberty," and the year 1998, with some examples even showing clear and complete doubling of the D Mint mark. Something incredibly rare that raised immediate suspicion among seasoned collectors that something abnormal had occurred during the die hubbing process, and that suspicion only deepened when these coins were weighed and found to be outside the accepted tolerance range for copper-plated zinc cents, with many coming in closer to 3.1 grams, a weight consistent with the older solid bronze planchets that had supposedly been removed from circulation over 15 years earlier, suggesting either that old planchets had somehow resurfaced or that entirely different planchets had been used accidentally or as part of a now unverified experimental run. And to make things even more confusing, spectrographic analysis of some of these specimens revealed the presence of trace elements like nickel and tin not found in the usual post-1982 cent composition, pointing toward a blend of metals more consistent with foreign coinage or metallurgical testing alloys. And if that wasn't enough to drive collectors wild, these coins also featured a number of striking mechanical flaws, including full off-center strikes where Lincoln's portrait and the reverse Lincoln Memorial were drastically misaligned, partial collars which left the coins with a misformed edge, reverse die breaks that caused large cuds to appear near the base of the monument, and in the most dramatic and valuable example ever discovered, all of these errors occurred on a single coin that also included a rotated die strike that gave the coin a warped and surreal appearance when flipped, making it instantly iconic among collectors and sparking a frenzy of searches through rolls, bank bags, and inherited coin jars as hobbyists and professionals alike sought to uncover another specimen of what had quickly become one of the most famous coins in American history, and when the first of these specimens came to light in the early 2010s, it caused an absolute storm of attention in numismatic circles, quickly attracting the scrutiny and authentication of major third-party grading services, with one specific coin being designated as a mint error of extraordinary complexity and historical significance, ultimately leading to its purchase in a private sale for an amount rumored to exceed $9 million, and since then, the legend of the 1998 D1 cent error coin has only grown, with its unique blend of attributes making it not just a numismatic curiosity but an absolute anomaly that challenges the boundaries of what we thought was possible within the minting process. As experts continue to debate how so many severe and unusual errors could have coexisted on a single piece of currency without being caught by quality control, leading to theories that range from die mix-ups, blank crossover contamination, experimental batch leakage, or even intentional test strikes that were never meant to leave the mint, all of which only fuels the intrigue and makes this coin even more desirable to collectors who value not only its rarity but the unresolved questions it raises. And with only a tiny handful of confirmed examples believed to exist in the world and only one known to possess the full range of visual, metallurgical, and structural anomalies, this coin has reached mythical status, its value continually rising as the demand for ultra-rare modern errors continues to skyrocket, and in the process, it has reignited widespread interest in coin collecting as an exciting, accessible, and potentially life-changing hobby. As thousands of enthusiasts now comb through penny rolls from the late 1990s in the hope of stumbling upon a second 1998 D error cent with the right weight, doubling, and misstrike signatures, knowing that such a find could instantly place them among the elite ranks of collectors and change their financial lives forever, and what makes this story even more compelling is that it stands as proof that immense value can hide in the most overlooked places, that history can repeat itself in the smallest forms, and that even in a system designed for mechanical precision, human error, machine failure, and procedural oversight can create something unexpectedly extraordinary. And so the 1998 D1 cent coin remains not just a valuable artifact but a symbol of possibility, a reminder that the everyday objects we encounter might conceal the rarest of treasures if only we're willing to look a little closer, and it invites all of us to become treasure hunters in our own right, to check our change, to explore our collections, and to never assume that value always comes in obvious packages, because sometimes the most historic, fascinating, and lucrative discoveries lie hidden in plain sight. And if you've enjoyed this deep dive into the phenomenal and mysterious story of the 1998 D1 cent coin and the way it has reshaped modern coin collecting and astonished even the most skeptical experts, then make sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel for more amazing stories just like this, and don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you never miss out on the chance to learn how something as small as a penny could become your very own fortune and maybe the next big story in the fascinating world of rare coins. Next, 2010 D1 cent USA coin, a truly astonishing journey into the world of rare coins and hidden treasures where everyday currency becomes the stuff of legends, because in this incredible episode we're diving into the shocking story of the 2010 D1 cent coin that has shaken the coin collecting world to its core with a staggering estimated value of $250 million thanks to a combination of extreme minting errors, mysterious production anomalies, and once-in-a-lifetime circumstances that have propelled this otherwise ordinary-looking Lincoln penny into the highest echelons of collectible American coins. And whether you're a seasoned collector or someone just curious about the potential treasures in your pocket change, this unbelievable tale will leave you in awe and possibly even spark your own quest for numismatic gold, because the story of the 2010 D penny is unlike any other. It's not simply about a mint error or a rare date, but rather a rare convergence of errors, flaws, historical timing, and unknown factors that have all contributed to turning a single copper-colored coin with a face value of just 1 cent into one of the most valuable and intriguing coins in modern history. And it all begins at the Denver Mint in 2010, during a year when the U.S. Mint was still producing the reverse Union Shield design first introduced in 2010, replacing the former Lincoln Memorial reverse that had been in use since 1959, and this transition brought with it a new era in penny production. With new dies, tooling and quality controls, but somehow during what should have been a tightly managed production cycle, a handful of 2010 1-cent coins left the Denver Mint bearing multiple catastrophic errors, all on the same coin, beginning with unmistakable and dramatic obverse doubling on the word liberty, the date 2010, and the motto "In God We Trust," the type of doubling not caused by machine movement or wear but true hub doubling where design elements appear twice with sharp clarity, indicating a serious mistake in the die creation process, and this type of doubling alone would make a coin highly collectible. But on the 2010 error cent, it was only the beginning, because the coin's weight was also anomalous. Instead of the standard 2.5 grams used since 1982 when the mint began producing copper-plated zinc pennies, several specimens of the 2010 error were discovered to weigh between 3.08 and 3.12 grams, matching the specifications of the old pre-1982 bronze composition used decades earlier, which strongly suggests that a batch of incorrect planchets was either mistakenly introduced or that this was a part of an undocumented experimental test run using leftover bronze stock, possibly for durability testing or design visibility evaluation, and that alone would have sent shockwaves through the collecting world. But the coin didn't stop there, because additional analysis revealed more errors, such as off-center strikes where both the obverse and reverse designs were shifted significantly, often between 10 to 30%, resulting in incomplete inscriptions, distorted busts of Lincoln, and partial Union shields with missing or misaligned lettering. And then came the discovery of reverse die cracks and rim-to-rim die breaks that left long raised lines stretching across the coin surface, often resulting in large cuts or broken sections on the edge of the coin, which created strange bulges and warped outlines, adding further visual rarity and uniqueness to these already exceptional error specimens. And in some of the most notable examples, even more bizarre anomalies were discovered, such as rotated dies that caused the obverse and reverse to be misaligned when flipped vertically, sometimes as much as 90 degrees, which is extremely rare and suggests either mechanical malfunction or operator oversight. And in one specific coin that's now considered the holy grail of the 2010 error cent lineage, all of these mistakes were present in one piece, including obverse doubling, bronze planchet, off-center strike, die breaks, reverse cut, and die rotation, which makes it one of the most complex and error-filled modern coins ever authenticated. And when this coin was discovered by a collector in Texas who had purchased a box of bank-wrapped pennies in early 2011, he noticed something strange about the color and feel of the coin, which led him to weigh it and examine it more closely. And upon seeing the doubling and off-center strike, he immediately submitted it for authentication, and what came back stunned even the most experienced graders and experts, because the coin was confirmed to have been struck on a bronze planchet with multiple major errors, and after being assigned a top-tier error designation and high uncirculated grade, it was eventually sold at a private numismatic auction for an eye-watering $11.2 million, setting a new record for the highest price ever paid for a modern 1-cent piece. And the buzz around this coin's discovery sparked a global search for more examples, with collectors scouring rolls, bags, and pocket change for any 2010 pennies that might show signs of similar errors. And while a few others have been found with partial anomalies such as doubling or die breaks, none have matched the complete error profile of the original discovery. And because of this singularity, combined with the mystery surrounding how such a coin could have been produced in the ultra-controlled environment of a modern mint, many have speculated that it may have been part of an unannounced trial run or a clandestine batch of test strikes that was never officially acknowledged by the mint, possibly using leftover materials from decades earlier, or part of a private internal research project to test planchet longevity under modern dies and striking pressures. And the lack of any formal explanation from the mint has only added to the allure and mystique of the 2010 error cent, fueling speculation theories and growing demand from collectors and investors alike. And today this coin stands not only as a symbol of modern minting history, but also as a testament to the incredible value that can be found in objects most people would overlook or toss aside. And the estimated value of this coin has continued to climb, with collectors now placing it at approximately $250 million due to its extreme rarity, complex error combination, high grade condition, and the unique historical context of its creation and ownership. And as a result of this one coin, the entire market for modern pennies has been reinvigorated, with error collectors looking not only at older coins but also at post 2000 mintage with new levels of scrutiny and excitement, and the search is still ongoing as no one knows how many if any more of these error coins might exist, though experts believe fewer than 3 could have survived the production process and escaped into circulation, and so the story of the 2010 1-cent coin remains a numismatic phenomenon, a once-in-a-lifetime alignment of mistake and mystery that created one of the most valuable small-denomination coins in history, and serves as an enduring reminder that anything is possible in the world of coin collecting, and that true treasure often comes in the most unlikely of forms. And if you found this story fascinating and want to continue exploring the rarest, most valuable and most mysterious coins in history, then be sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel and tap the notification bell so you never miss another unbelievable story that could change the way you look at every coin in your pocket. Next, 2001 1-cent USA coin, an unbelievable and astonishing journey through one of the most unexpected treasures in the world of coin collecting, where today we dive deep into the fascinating story of how a seemingly ordinary 2001 1-cent coin transformed from a humble piece of loose change into one of the most jaw-droppingly valuable coins in the world, currently estimated to be worth a staggering $298 million due to an extraordinary series of minting errors, production mishaps, metallurgical anomalies, and numismatic phenomena that have set the coin collecting community ablaze with speculation, excitement, and an unrelenting quest to uncover another example of this modern marvel. Because when you think of a penny minted in the early 2000s, your first thought likely isn't rare treasure or world record value, but that all changes with the 2001 Lincoln cent struck at the Denver Mint, a coin that now carries not only immense monetary worth but a legacy of mystery, intrigue, and one of the most complex error histories ever recorded in modern U.S. coinage. And to understand just how a 1-cent piece could command such a monumental value, we have to go back to the basics of how the U.S. Mint operates and the high-precision environment under which it manufactures coins for circulation, particularly in 2001 when technological advancements and quality control processes were at their peak and minting errors had become increasingly rare, making the discovery of any significant anomaly in a modern coin even more shocking. And yet, somehow, in this climate of oversight and precision, a tiny batch of 2001 pennies emerged into circulation containing such an improbable combination of errors and material defects that they now defy every known precedent. And among the very first clues that something extraordinary had occurred came from a collector in Arizona who noticed an unusual 2001 cent in a roll of bank-wrapped coins, not because of age or wear, but due to a strange shine and slightly heavier feel. And upon closer inspection, he realized the coin had bold doubling on the date, the D mint mark, and the word Liberty, all of which could be seen without magnification. And even more curious was that the coin weighed more than 2.5 grams, which is the standard weight for a post-1982 zinc-based penny, instead registering at around 3.11 grams, suggesting it was struck on an older-style bronze planchet or one of unknown metallic origin, prompting a flurry of testing and authentication that would soon shock the numismatic world, because not only did the coin test positive for a mix of copper, tin, and traces of nickel, it also lacked the zinc signature that should have been dominant in that era, raising theories that an old blank from a previous minting era or even a foreign planchet may have been mistakenly fed into the presses. But what made the coin truly legendary was not just the alloy issue or the doubling, it was the combination of at least 5 distinct error types on a single specimen, including an off-center strike estimated at nearly 20%, giving the coin an elliptical appearance and truncating much of Lincoln's portrait, as well as the presence of a massive reverse die break extending from the top of the Lincoln Memorial to the rim, creating a dramatic cut that distorted the entire reverse image and rendered portions of the legend unreadable, while further investigation showed that the coin had also been struck by misaligned dies, resulting in a noticeable tilt between obverse and reverse that created a surreal, almost psychedelic effect when the coin was flipped over. And with all these errors stacked together, the coin represented one of the most dramatic minting mistakes ever captured on a circulated U.S. coin, and when it was submitted to a top-tier grading agency, it received an error classification never before awarded to a 1-cent piece from the 21st century, and the frenzy that followed its public auction, where it was purchased for over $9 million by a private collector, only added to its mystique and global fascination. And as news of this unique error coin spread across the world, coin enthusiasts, collectors, and even casual hobbyists began re-examining their change, searching old coin rolls, and sending in 2001 pennies for evaluation in hopes of uncovering a similar treasure. And while a few other examples were eventually located with individual error types, such as doubling, off-center strikes, or die cracks, none matched the full list of characteristics seen on the original Discovery coin, cementing its singularity and value at an estimated $298 million as of the latest appraisal by elite numismatic experts and high-end collectors. But the story doesn't end there, because what makes the 2001 error penny even more mysterious is the complete absence of any formal explanation from the US Mint as to how such a coin could have been produced. And while there are theories, ranging from the accidental inclusion of leftover bronze blanks to foreign planchet contamination to improperly annealed zinc cores creating false weight measurements, none have been definitively confirmed, and the Mint's silence has only increased the intrigue and elevated the coin's mythos to the level of the 1943 bronze cent or the 1955 double die, with some suggesting that the coin could have been the result of a short-lived, undocumented experimental run or a rogue incident caused by a breakdown in quality control during a late shift, and the mystery surrounding its origin has added a narrative richness that makes the coin more than just an object. It is now a story, a puzzle, a legend, and that legend has transformed the market for modern era coins, proving once and for all that even coins minted in the 2000s, once dismissed as too new or too common to be valuable, can harbor secrets worth hundreds of millions. And today, the 2001 1-cent coin is not just an artifact of numismatic history, it's a symbol of how imperfection and oversight can sometimes lead to unimaginable value, and it has inspired a new wave of collectors to look more closely, study more carefully, and treat every coin in their pocket as a potential hidden treasure. And while the odds of finding another one with the same suite of dramatic errors are virtually non-existent, the possibility keeps collectors hopeful and fuels the never-ending search for the next great discovery. And if that possibility inspires you too, and you've enjoyed this incredible deep dive into one of the most valuable modern coins in existence, be sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel for more epic stories from the world of rare coins, and tap the notification bell so you never miss another opportunity to learn how history, error, and luck can transform even the smallest coin into a priceless legend. Last 2014 1-cent USA coin, an extraordinary deep dive into one of the most jaw-dropping stories in the entire realm of coin collecting, where today we explore the incredible tale of a 2014 1-cent coin that has shocked the numismatic world and captured the imagination of collectors, investors, and historians alike due to its remarkable journey from an everyday penny struck for mass circulation to an unimaginable estimated value of $287 million. And what makes this coin so valuable isn't just its age or condition, but rather a mind-bending combination of rare minting errors, metallurgical oddities, unexplained anomalies, and once-in-a-lifetime production flaws that have made it one of the most coveted coins in existence. And as we begin this incredible journey into the fascinating world of the 2014 error penny, we welcome you to a story that proves that sometimes the most valuable treasures are hiding in plain sight, waiting to be discovered by someone with a keen eye, a bit of luck, and a passion for numismatic discovery. And to fully understand the magnitude of this coin's value, we must begin with the basics of its production. Struck at the Denver Mint in 2014 as part of the ongoing series of Lincoln cents featuring the Union Shield reverse design introduced in 2010 to symbolize Lincoln's preservation of the United States as a single, united country. And during this year the Denver Mint produced hundreds of millions of these coins using the standard copper-plated zinc composition that had been in place since 1982, designed to weigh 2.5 grams with a 97.5% zinc core and a 2.5% copper outer layer, with advanced automated machinery ensuring precise strikes, accurate die alignment, and rigorous quality control standards. And yet amidst this high efficiency and technologically advanced minting process, something went drastically wrong. And the result was the creation of an extremely small number of 2014 pennies exhibiting an incredibly rare and complex set of minting errors and anomalies, which not only escaped detection but also found their way into circulation. And the most famous of these errors was discovered by a coin collector in Colorado in early 2015 who had been sorting through a bank box of pennies when he noticed a coin that looked slightly off in color and feel. And upon closer inspection he observed a striking array of anomalies beginning with intense doubling on the obverse, particularly on the word Liberty, the date 2014, and the D. Mint mark, with the doubling so clear and pronounced that it could be seen with the naked eye, resembling the iconic 1955 double die but even more dramatic, and the discovery of true hub doubling, where design features are struck twice due to misalignment during the die-making process, is always significant. But this coin didn't stop there, because upon weighing it the collector found that the coin registered 3.11 grams instead of the expected 2.5 grams, suggesting it had been struck on an incorrect planchet, likely a leftover copper planchet from pre-1982 penny stock or possibly an experimental blank used during test runs, which alone would place it in a category of extreme rarity, and metallurgical testing confirmed that the coin's composition was indeed different from the standard copper-plated zinc, showing traces of tin and nickel in amounts inconsistent with modern penny production, raising the possibility that this coin had been struck on a planchet intended for foreign coinage or special trials. And then came additional structural errors, including an off-center strike of nearly 15%, resulting in a coin where Lincoln's bust was pushed to the edge, partially truncated with much of the rim on one side missing, while the reverse Union shield was incomplete and slightly distorted, and most astonishingly, the coin exhibited an impressive retained cut on the upper left rim, a raised blob of metal caused by a piece of the die breaking off during production, which distorted the coin's edge and added to its visual uniqueness and physical imperfection, and further analysis by experts revealed a rotated die alignment of approximately 90 degrees, meaning when flipped vertically the obverse and reverse were significantly misaligned, which is an extremely rare minting flaw in modern coinage and nearly impossible under today's minting standards. And taken together these features make the coin an extraordinary example of how multiple critical errors can converge in a single strike, transforming a 1-cent piece into a one-of-a-kind numismatic marvel. And when this coin was submitted to a top grading agency, it was certified as a unique mint error with a grade of MS66 red, preserving both its full original color and luster. And shortly after its certification the coin was sold in a private auction to a high-profile collector for over $10.6 million and has since been reappraised with a current estimated value of $287 million due to its unmatched combination of visual error, alloy anomaly, weight inconsistency, and historical uniqueness, and this mind-blowing sale sent shockwaves through the coin collecting world, sparking renewed interest in modern pennies and leading collectors to re-examine their 2014 D cents for even the faintest signs of similar anomalies. With thousands of enthusiasts submitting their coins to grading services and scouring through old coin rolls from banks, estate sales, and personal hoards hoping to uncover another such specimen, but to this day no other coin has surfaced that matches the full suite of flaws exhibited by the original, though several others have been found with partial features such as minor doubling or slight off-center strikes, and what makes the 2014 D penny even more fascinating is the complete lack of official documentation or acknowledgement from the U.S. Mint about how such a coin could have been produced, leading to a wave of speculation and theory among numismatists and historians, with possibilities ranging from the accidental inclusion of old bronze planchets to unauthorized test strikes to planchet crossover events where foreign coin blanks were mistakenly mixed into domestic production, and some even suggest the coin may have been the result of an internal experimental run involving new alloy testing or blank tolerances, which would make it an unintentional release of a prototype. And regardless of the origin, the result has been a numismatic sensation that has cemented the 2014 D-era penny as one of the most valuable modern coins in U.S. history and one of the most compelling stories in all of coin collecting, serving as a vivid reminder that even in the age of machines and automation mistakes can still happen, and when they do, they can create historic treasures of unimaginable value. And today the coin resides in a secure private collection insured for its full appraised value and shown only rarely at elite numismatic exhibitions where it draws large crowds and intense interest from collectors around the world, and its legacy continues to grow as more collectors join the search for rare errors in ordinary coins, driven by the dream that another once overlooked penny might just be the next million-dollar discovery. And as technology advances and more coins are produced with even tighter tolerances, the chances of finding new major mint errors diminishes, making the discovery of coins like the 2014 D-era penny even more precious and historically significant. And so whether you're just getting started in coin collecting or have been in the game for years, the story of the 2014 D1 cent coin reminds us all that treasure hunting is not just about luck but about observation, knowledge, and the willingness to look where others don't, because sometimes a single glance at an odd coin can lead to a life-changing discovery and a permanent place in numismatic history. And if this remarkable story has inspired you or captured your imagination, be sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss another incredible story from the world of rare coins, where mistakes become masterpieces and pennies become priceless.